back in January of this year, someone notified me that Courtney Love wanted to reach out to me. We all know who Courtney Love is. If for nothing else, it's because the media has convinced most people that she had something to do with the murder of her husband, Kurt Cobain. When I made contact with her, it was because she had been watching my podcast and she knew that I was obsessed with the book Chaos. Courtney at that time, Courtney Love, told me so much information. In January of this year, it was like she basically wrote me a novel. I couldn't process it. It was information overload. And if she had sent that to anybody but me, someone would have looked at this information and said, oh, this is just crazy. So while I personally did not understand the nature of what goes on inside of Hollywood, I did start to understand it after everything happened with Ye. She explained to me that she was a toddler and she was experimented on at the Haight-Ashbury Clinic. For those of you, Haight-Ashbury, it's the intersection where they had this clinic and the hippies came, and this is when the CIA was just dosing them intentionally because they wanted to understand how to control minds. Courtney, who's writing a book on this, so I'm not exposing anything, told me that she was given LSD at this age. This is how she grew up. She grew up in this area. And she told me, I did not kill Kurt Cobain. That was a part of a psychological operation to make the masses look away from what the CIA was guilty of. And she then told me through a lot of messages that at the core of all of this is ownership. The best way to understand it is that when companies or individuals get too big and become too powerful, they send their agents to control them, to make sure that they are able to control their messaging. And if they cannot control those individuals, they will stage some sort of a hostile takeover of that brand or of that company or of that particular person. And there's a number of ways that can be accomplished. First and foremost, the psychosis. She's having a mental breakdown. She needs a break. She's really tired. Britney's been put on a Psych 5150 hold. Kanye, he said he was just reading a Bible, and Harley Pasternak, and we got into his backstory, and MK Ultra suddenly puts him in a hospital on a Psych 5150 hold, and somehow his wife, I guess, was cool with that. Another way that they accomplish this is via lawfare. They will bankrupt you. And Michael Jackson, despite the fact that he was beating Sony, he was owning his own catalog and almost owned the Beatles catalog. And that's when they swept in and they took down Michael Jackson. He died broke, right? And the people who he was fighting owned his catalog. Actually, in the news today, and this is totally a God thing, I saw Paris Jackson was in the news today. She's lost in court and she's still fighting over her father's legacy. It's insane. The very people he hated, right, now own his catalog, and he was beating them.